Welcome to the Black Men Think podcast. If this is your first time here, know that the views and opinions expressed by the Black Men Think podcast are those of the Black Men Think podcast and not the individual members. With that being said, we're about to be unapologetically, undeniably black. Enjoy.
So look, tonight me and Corey on there. Mo out there living his best life out in. I guess he'll talk. We'll let him talk about where he was at when he come back next week. But hey, welcome to the Black Man Think podcast. We appreciate y'all. As you can see, I'm in my decorative robe. Corey said ain't had no energy. I'm out here like I'm sleepy on the pod, so I'm gonna try to get a little energy up. Brother Todd, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's been
JD Hefner.
I'm cooling, man. Cool. Look,
you'll start back recording the other stuff when you get off here.
Yeah.
I got
That's for the other Patreon. the other
you.
Patreon. No, man. But I have already took a shower though, boy. It's like after I finish recording this, I slipped. Might just go ahead and get in the bed early. Probably ain't gonna happen, but you know how that go. Always plans and it don't fall through when you're talking about going to sleep early.
Yeah. You
Mm.
look a little tired, though, man. I noticed all that, man. You looking a little sluggish, man.
I'm sorry, dog.
Don't be sorry, man.
He was
You
perky.
human.
Yeah, but how you doing though?
Man, I can't complain, man. Just trying to stay safe. Take it one day at a time, and be grateful.
Be grateful. Yeah. Definitely got to be grateful, bro. Got to be grateful. I will hear that. I know we were talking offline, and I was like, bro, let's just go ahead and hit record. But we would briefly talk about the whole Tyreek Hill move. But I mean, bro, all right, we could talk sports. I feel like we can talk sports. A lot don't happen in Atlanta sports history. Um,
Hmm.
Atlanta sports team within the past, like this past week, really. I think all this happened in 1 week.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Uh, yeah. It past week.
Yeah, like all of the Atlanta teams pretty much said that we not even we rebuilding, but we moving away from the stars of the team. Basically, it was just like
Right.
it,
Yeah.
the leaders of the team we moved away from on both like the Braves and the Falcons. So, oh man, I don't know how I'm kind of mixed emotions on both of them to be honest with you, bro. Like
Mm,
from Freddie, I kind of felt like Freddie should have took the Braves deal because he got, we offered him. I said we, but you know what I'm saying. Like we offered him a good deal, but I guess he wanted something else. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's different, man. Just the fact, just think about it, man. Like, man, these players they're not even gonna be here anymore. And after seeing them so many years, the good thing with Freddie, at least he left on a high note with the championship.
He left
Um,
MVP the first year, championship the next year. Yeah, he did the way you're supposed to do.
yeah, right. So I mean, you can't, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it happens. Who knows what went on behind the scenes?
Yeah.
Of course, we only know so much of what's going on, but yeah, I mean, he leave as a champion, for sure.
Your boy Matty Ice. I know you got a lot to say about this. You are the diehard Falcon fan. Even though we both are Falcons fans, but you the real diehard Falcon fan of the crew. So how you feel about Matty Ice moving on? Um, first off, we fumbled the Deshaun Watson.
I think Cleveland Browns kind of set everybody down with 230 million dollars guaranteed.
Bro.
That's crazy, man. Like, do you know who's number two on that list in most guaranteed money?
Who?
Aaron Rodgers with $80 million less, $150 million guaranteed. And this is we're talking about a future Hall of Famer, won the Super Bowl, and been close and getting back to the Super Bowl. So I just feel like Cleveland was just desperate, man.
Yeah, I mean I definitely think they were desperate and they kind of was like, all right, we about to move on from Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
And so
Yeah.
since we're gonna move on, we might as well like just go ahead and push all our chips in. And I mean, I don't think that the Falcons were gonna ever pull the trigger on that much money, like that much guaranteed. And so I can't
Yeah.
blame Deshaun Watson for moving on because that's a lot of money, bro. Like to say that you pretty much saying we not looking for a quarterback for another decade. Really,
Hmm.
like this is you, like this your team, bro. So I ain't mad at it, but I would be lying if I was saying that I wasn't shocked to see that happen. Like that was wild to me to even know that they would do that. It's just like, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I had been waiting, man. Like, man, I know Adam Schefter gonna tweet something. Bro, it popped up and it said a stunning move, Cleveland Brown. I said, man, no. I mean, on the flip side, I was glad he didn't go to the Saints because I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would that would have sucked so bad. But just the fact that everything that I was reading, that's why you can't count on it until it's official because everything that I was reading, they were like, man, Falcons in the driver's seat. He's this close to signing. They just working out the details of a restructure and all this other stuff.
Right.
And Cleveland came in, but from a agent player point of view, or I'm telling you to sign that contract.
One
Like
hundred percent.
no question, no question about it. But from a team owner, GM wise, I don't know what made them sign off on that, bro. $230 million guaranteed, like fully guaranteed. That's NBA contract.
Yeah,
That's baseball contract. But
yeah.
now it's that trend has been going there lately with guaranteed money. Because look, Tyreek got what 72 million, 70 million, something guaranteed,
Man,
something like that.
yeah, I think 70. I think 70 guaranteed. It's a 4 year 120
Yeah, I think 120. Yeah, I forgot how many years, but I know it's like 120
Yeah, he the
and
highest paid
over.
wide receiver right now. I think is what it said.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. That was kind of like a shock to me too, because I'm like,
Yeah, that came out of nowhere this morning. I was like, Tyreek Hill was. They were like, it was the Dolphins and the Jets. It was between those two, and I was like,
right.
oh shoot. But I mean, he a free agent after this season, so I mean, they got a lot for him. All those draft picks.
I mean,
Um,
I think it's gonna work out definitely for Kansas City because you got I think it's either 4 or 5 draft picks, and it's like you're gonna find at least 1 or 2 players out of them five. Like
hmm.
all five are not gonna be a bust. Like you're gonna find at least one that's gonna be a
Yeah,
caliber player, and I'm assuming that they're gonna go after a wide receiver on at least one of those picks, or even when the draft come. I don't remember what the picks are, but I would assume it's a safe bet to say that they drafted a wide receiver this year anyway. So
yeah,
if you're just looking from a business standpoint, you get rid of your star wide receiver, but you also have a star tight end who was really the one who was getting the ball for real, and you also, I saw a stat line that said that Pat Mahomes is 7-1 without Tyreek Hill in the lineup. So it ain't like,
oh really?
yeah, it ain't like he struggling with it when him not on the field. So, um,
Yeah,
but that was just a random thing to see, bro. Like, I don't know. It probably came down to that Kansas City wasn't gonna pay him that kind of money, and so
right. Yeah, yeah. It was going to take up too much, especially Patrick Mahomes. His salary, a contract rather, is just and trying to pay him too. Yeah,
yeah,
that's gonna be a lot. But back to the Falcons, man. I mean, it's. I guess when I listened to the GM Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith press conference today about the whole situation. So to clarify, the reason why we only got a third round draft pick was because the GM said that they wanted to make things right for Matt Ryan.
hmm
They could have opened it up for other teams and got the best whatever in return as far as like draft picks or whatever.
hmm
But they said they wanted to keep Matt Ryan in the loop, and the Colts was a team that I guess ultimately he decided to go with. And at that point, they kind of got the upper hand because it's a player you're trying to trade. So obviously they can say, we'll give you something decent, but we don't have to
yeah,
give you our best. So I mean, I guess that makes sense, and um,
I was shocked that we
it's
still had to pay Matt Ryan though. I thought like we had $45 million dead money.
dead money. Yeah, yeah. So from listening to sports radio, because I wasn't familiar with how the whole process worked either. So basically, they were saying that money is considered dead money, so the Falcons on the hook for that. Because I was like, dang, we can get this off the books. We can transfer this to somebody else, but now they said that's dead money. So I don't know if that's, and I'm still trying to figure. I don't know if that's bonus money or what, but it's still going to hit towards. It still will be dead money towards us because I think we're paying dead money still to Julio too. So I guess it's a portion of their contract that the team that they signed with originally, they can't get rid of it
Gotcha.
because I was like, man, we can get rid of it, but nah, they still they still on the hook for that. So I mean, it'll be different for sure. Um,
Yeah. The ticket's
without
gonna be
him,
cheaper too.
I mean, yeah. The thing is, I mean, I haven't watched. I know when I guess Mariota, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah,
I
Mariota.
know when he came in, he was pretty solid. But I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see how I mean, I don't know. It's sports, man. You can get out there and shock people. I mean, right now it doesn't look good on paper, but
Yeah.
all it takes is a couple wins, and people be like, "Man, this team is more talented than we thought."
Yeah.
Um,
I think the Mariota situation is all right. I'll say this. So when the Falcons traded away Matt Ryan, we all know that at the end of the day, the Falcons bring in a lot of money to the city, right?
mhm.
And we got to factor in that for 14 years straight, Matt Ryan has filled the stands. Like it is what it is. Whether you hate or love him, people show up to the Falcons game to see Matt Ryan and the Falcons, right? And so I think that they had to go after a player that had some type of notoriety. Like they couldn't
Mhm.
just pull up and say like, all right, we're just gonna go with what we got. Like we're gonna play the backup and then basically tank the season. But they also couldn't go out and like I knew they weren't gonna get Winston, regardless of what the Saints were gonna do because it's just like, man, that it's a big name, but also he's shown that he's inaccurate at times. You know what I'm saying? Like so,
Mhm.
but he's also like a big enough name that he's gonna demand the attention of like Marcus Mariota is not gonna demand any attention. He can go in and
Mhm.
almost be like a Jimmy G type of a quarterback. Go in, do his job, win some games. If we make it to the playoffs, it's a bonus. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
and then to get him for what you got him for, what 2 years, $18 million. It's not like you spending a lot of
Yeah.
money. So um, he's a serviceable quarterback at this point that's familiar with the coach, and I think for us, I think 9 wins is our ceiling.
Mhm.
But we're not gonna be bad to the point of where we're getting a top 10 pick in the draft, bro. Like we're gonna be middle of the pack. Maybe at worst, probably win six games, but on the high end, I think we got the potential to win 9, and we might look up and win 10. But
We might 6 games. We might get. We still probably still should get a top 10 unless it's just a lot of teams just got bad records.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna win just 6 games. I think we're gonna because everybody got something to prove now. Like Matt Ryan ain't there, and everybody, especially if you like somebody that's been reading, if you're one of those type of players that read the comments and reading the media, and everybody saying that Matt Ryan is the problem with the Falcons. So it's like
Hmm.
now Matt Ryan ain't here. So like,
Yeah,
what y'all gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
hey,
We really gonna see how bad the offensive line is. Even though Mariota is mobile,
yeah, he
he
is
will
mobile.
run. So that add another dimension to the offense because I mean you don't have a quarterback that's just sitting in the pocket
Yeah,
and
true.
not really scrambling. So that's what I'm saying. Like I mean I'll see because I mean even the year we went to the Super Bowl, I mean I wouldn't say at the beginning of the season that they were going to go to the Super Bowl. So
No, no.
anything is possible, especially with I mean talent can be hit or miss um,
Right, right.
in football. So it'll be interesting to see what what they actually do. But I mean, it's I figured that it was going to happen. Um, I didn't think it was. If I was a betting man, I wouldn't think it was going to happen this year. I was like, hey, he got 2 years left. They may release him after this season, depending on how things go, or they may just say, "Hey, we're just gonna go ahead and ride it out." Like I wasn't. This came, out of nowhere, and it all came, I'm sure, from the Deshaun Watson thing. But
Yeah. Oh,
um, yeah, yeah.
I
So
knew he
I
was going
mean,
after that, bro. You can't.
right?
You can't. The good thing is Matt Ryan. You can tell is a professional. He understood
Mm,
everything that was going on. But there is no way, no chance in hell that Matt Ryan was going to be the quarterback for the Falcons after we fumbled getting Deshaun Watson. Like there was just
yeah,
no way that his pride wasn't gonna let him stay in the seat
yeah,
he already tried to move, like tried to go after a big name like
yeah.
that, and without even saying, because if we would have got Deshaun Watson, what was gonna happen after that? Like we was gonna have to still make the trade, right? So
Oh yeah, you're gonna either trade him or you're gonna release him.
yeah,
That was the thing. But I'm sure you would have gone for the trade,
right,
to try to get somebody.
yeah, something,
Um, Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it'll, like I said, it'll definitely be different. So now that's three jerseys, bro. Matt Ryan, Julio, and Calvin Ridley. Man,
oh,
he'd
you talking
probably
about,
be traded.
yeah, Calvin,
Huh?
yeah, Calvin Ridley would probably be traded, unfortunately.
Yeah,
We looking at 2 years of no play for the most part.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And so the thing is, when you got that type of time away from the game, it's so easy, especially in football, for people to give up on you because
yeah.
it's a show improved now. And I don't. I mean, at this point though, bro, like, what do you draft if you the Falcons right now? Like, in the draft coming up, do you draft a
I
running
mean,
back?
you always that defense definitely got some holes in it. Quarterback
Offensively?
is kind of yeah, yeah, main, but I would go defense first, obviously. But I mean, quarterback is, I don't know. I don't know how deep the quarterback draft class is this year.
Nothing. It ain't nothing
Um,
out there. Everybody holding out
yeah,
for next year. You about to see a lot of people start tanking next year though. This coming season, you about to see some whoever need the quarterback, they about to tank for Bryce Young, bro.
yeah. Talking about from Alabama,
Hmm.
how tall is he?
I don't
Because he
know.
look kind of small. Yeah,
I don't know, but he is projected to be top three quarterbacks
really?
out the
Oh,
draft.
dang.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They saying he that deal, like kind of like a I don't want to say Tua because he went to Alabama, but it's in that vein of like Tua because Tua wasn't gonna be
Okay.
the number one, but yeah, it's that's what he's projected. He's projected pretty high, so
Okay.
yeah, we'll
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting, but they saying they're gonna have a lot of cap space available after this season.
for the
So
Falcons.
Falcons, yeah. So
Oh,
I guess they're gonna be back on track to get some free agents in. So I mean that's something to look forward to. So if they go out and have a solid season this season, I mean, you never know what can happen.
yeah,
It's crazy. It's crazy how teams it seem like teams been dropping money on players this offseason, man.
bruh.
I'm like, man, they do all that and still gonna lose because it's like
The Buffalo move shocked me, bro. Like
with
Von
Von
Miller,
Miller, yeah,
yeah, man,
that,
'cause
yeah,
he about to be in the league for like
he been
15.
up there, man. He
Yeah,
been in there a minute. I'm like, man, y'all dropped that much money. So yeah, teams been they've been dropping money, but that Tyreek Hill one today, I was like Tyreek Hill. I'm like, what in the world? Um,
that shocked me.
yeah, I was
That was a
shocked. I was
shock.
shocked that Russell Wilson went to Denver.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of
yeah,
changes
boy,
coming for.
if you would have gone to the Saints, man, oh my goodness. Because to be honest, and being a Falcons fan, you don't like the Saints, but really, to be honest, they probably not too that far away from probably going to the Super Bowl.
Who? The
Like
Saints?
the Saints, yeah, because they got a solid defense. If
Yeah,
you
the
know,
defense.
if
Yeah,
yeah, if they get healthy on offense, if Jameis Winston can be solid and stay healthy, to be honest, they probably can. they probably can make some noise, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Like you know how it is. We feel the same way when it comes to the Saints, but I I don't know, man. Like you know, they team heavily relied on the durability and the movements of Drew Brees, and I think we saw for the
Yeah,
first time how important he was to the franchise. And you know, I think anything is possible. But what they got a new coach down there, right?
yeah. The defense coordinator Dennis Allen. He used to be I think he used to be a head coach at one point.
Okay,
But I keep forgetting too that Sean Payton out there. That I mean that's the difference maker too.
got you, got you.
Yeah,
So, I mean, man, look, we'll see what happens. That was I know we got real sports heavy at the beginning of the pod, but that's just what we was on at the time, man. But I did want to talk to you about one of our Patreon members. They sent a question in, and it's been stemming off of because we've been talking about friendships, right? Like so, um, Marlon and I we had a good conversation about friendships within marriage, and then me and you we just had like talking about our longest friendships and whatnot.
hmm
And from branching off of those conversations, he was saying like, hey man, a good topic may be like home friendships versus college friendships, and like you know
hmm
I know for us that's kind of a unique situation because we kind of have like me and you personally we have like a blended type situation. Like we were friends in high schools and then went on to continue our friendship in college. But I guess just talking about the dynamic of friends in high school versus friends in college. Just looking at that from an overall um, like overall, I guess the best way I can frame it, and just talk about you know your high school friendships and how they impacted your life versus your college friendships and how they impacted your life. So I will, I'll kick it off and say for me, I think by the time I got to high school, all of my friendships were pretty much already set for the most part.
hmm
Like I had people who, you know, of course, you know, high school, bro. Like you associate with so many people in high school, but
Yeah,
in terms of like friendships, I've had like the same friends, man, for a good, you know, a good chunk of my life. Um, but I do remember specifically, we, you know, our crew that we had like J Dub boys, and so it was like, you know, me, Chris, and Courtney, who is still a part of my friend group now, but we also had like Jarvis and Tyrone and Snooky and all, you know what I mean? So we had like an extended type crew, so to speak. But I'm just trying to think of how those friendships were. I guess they were for what they were for, if that makes sense. Like in high school, it was just about. I think it was more so about fun than trying to like
hmm
really find yourself. So it was all about like who had the car, who had you know, like who knew where the party was at, or you know, it was that. It wasn't. I'm just looking back on it. It was like man, high school, bro. It wasn't really about a lot, if I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? It was just
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I mean, it was the association piece, like especially if you had classes with the same people,
right.
like naturally you're gonna be kind of friends with friends with those people. But yeah, I mean, it just and it's like, dang, it's so long ago.
Yeah, I know, right?
In terms of years, but it doesn't really feel like it. But when you think about it, like, man, that was like what, 20 years ago, um, or more than 20 years, because yeah, 20 plus years. Um, yeah, man, it's and so the question was, or the topic was comparing high
I'm gonna,
school friends.
I'll read exactly what he sent. Right? It said
Okay,
integrated friendships, home friends versus college friends may be a good topic.
home friends meaning like your hometown.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Okay, okay. I'm trying to think. Hometown friends. Um, I guess so. See, it depends too because I guess it really depends because for us, we don't live. So let's say if you from okay, we from Macon. Let's say
Right.
if you're from Macon and you went off to school and you moved back to Macon after school,
Mm.
that would be kind of different because with us, we moved from Macon, we go back down there still, but it's
Yeah.
not like we're down there. Yeah, we're
Right.
not down there as often, so it's like not like we would still be hanging out with the people that are still down there. And
Yeah.
obviously, if they don't live there, then I mean we're not really around them that much. But I mean, I still associate with or communicate with them every now and then, like anybody that I hung out with for the most part
Right.
in high school or when I was in Macon, but not as often. I mean, of course, if you're still living in the city where you went to school, you're more likely to see those people.
And
Like,
you,
cause I mean, I can think of,
yeah.
mhm.
No, no. I was saying, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess it just really depends on where you're located. If you move back to the city that you were raised in, or if you still away, because I mean, there are people that I haven't really seen since high school or since high school or a little after high school.
Yeah.
Obviously social media helps with that because you can still communicate with those people some kind of way. But I mean, yeah, they were. I mean, they were what they were. I mean, you're still growing as a person, so your knowledge of what friends are or what people mean to you obviously change the older you get. I
Mm.
mean, even now in adulthood, like, you know, you probably more than likely not making well, you'll have those friends who've been around for a while, even though you'll come across new people that you might become close to, but
Right.
it's kind of different for people that you've known for years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it just, and then you have some people that don't really have any friends at all. So, yeah, I mean, it just really varies on your location, I think.
I can see that. I'm trying to think. Really. So okay. So in my situation currently, home friends. The way that I would and maybe that's what the best thing we have to try to define a home friend. So for me, when you say home
Hmm.
friend, I think of someone who is still back at home, right? And so for me, I only have and when I'm saying friend, I mean like though like we're talking about friends at this point. We're not talking about people who was like once your friend and now y'all ain't really like as close as y'all were. I'm talking about like yo,
Yeah,
if you ain't talked to him within the past 3 months, that's probably not your friend for real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
and not even talk to, but if y'all ain't communicating in some way, shape, or form within the past 3 months, and somebody ain't in like the military or you know what I mean, or if there's like a crazy barrier for not communicating, other than that, especially during these times, you should have been at least been able to communicate some type of way with someone you calling your friend. So for me,
hmm,
I can only think of one person that's still in Macon, and he went back to Macon. You know what I'm saying? Like he got a job closer to the city, so it was just like, yo, it only made sense for me to move back down here. But he was up here for the majority of the time. Like we all came up here together, and so,
yeah,
but that's it. And our friendship has always been pretty much the same. It's like it's the oldest friendship that I have, and like me and Chris, bro, like we could I talked to Chris the like 2 days ago, I think. And like with me and Chris might not talk for like a month, but
hmm,
we pick right back up. You know what I'm saying? And like we'll be texting each other, but like as far as on the phone, because he works a job where he's on the road all the time. But you know, being on the road, they can't be on the phone like that. And
yeah,
he works super late, so you know we got conflicting schedules. Basically, is what I'm saying. But even with that, dog, we'll just pick up the phone, and when we do pick up, we just pick up from where we left off, type thing. And you know, there's nothing different or weird about our friendship. You know what I mean? So, but that's the only person that I can pinpoint as a home friend. Um, and so for us, man, we that's been our dynamic for a couple of years now, just because, I mean, bro, I got a whole family now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't do some of the same things that we were doing maybe back when we were fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
That's understandable because like neither one of us own that. Like, bro, we we some go to work, you know what I'm saying, come back home type of people. So, but yeah, that's the only thing that I can define as a home friend, and I would say versus college friend, y'all like we talk every day. We got this podcast because of our relationship as college friends, um, and you know that I think the biggest difference is we went through one person can talk about like Chris can talk about my life. Chris and Courtney actually can talk about what my life was at an earlier age, and they're
Hmm.
able to see the growth and development coming through all of that, right? Like so
Yeah.
for them, they get a different perspective versus my college friends. They only knew me from basically as being a man. So like you guys got to see me become a man. These guys knew what I was like when I was just a kid. And so they see the
Hmm.
whole maturation process. You know what I mean? So I think that's probably the biggest difference between those two sets of friend groups. One is able to, you know, one can maybe pinpoint, and it really just depends on what type of friendship that is, because that could be, you could look at the flip side of that, where your home friends may be like, bro, you changed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking
Hmm.
that's not my situation, but I've seen it happen to people where people can think that that person changed because their surroundings changed. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm sure some of our listeners may be dealing with that and going through that because it's so it's not a hard idea to fathom because life is so such one way, and the minute you get outside of it, like excuse me, like for us, we grew up in a city, Macon, Georgia. For those that don't know, it's like an hour away, an hour south of Atlanta. And in terms of, you know, compared to Atlanta, it's like day and night. You have fast pace versus a slow pace, even though a lot of people would say
Hmm.
Atlanta is a slow pace. But, you know, you have a fast pace to a slow pace city where Atlanta, anywhere you go is going to take you, would be safe to say 15 to 30 minutes, anywhere you want to go in
Right.
the city.
Hmm.
Versus Macon, hell, if I drive for 30 minutes, I'm halfway to Atlanta. You know, so there's no way it shouldn't take me like I can somebody can call me at 10:50 and be like, "Yo, bro, I need you here like immediately," and I'm more than likely I can get to wherever I need to go within before 11. Like if I walk
Yeah.
out the door, I should be able to come close to getting to that spot before 11 o'clock in most cases, and so you know I think that part of that, you know, being in a different place and being able to see different things, it changes the outlook for some people. But like I said, for all of my home friends left Macon, and
Yeah.
one of them came back. So we all have the same perspective, bro. Like we know what it's like to see something outside of our home state. I mean, excuse me, hometown. So yeah,
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. Nah. Those are good points, man. But yeah, it's just like, man, I don't know. It's you don't. I don't. I'm just trying to think about people that I used to, kind of hang out with in high school. Yeah. I really haven't. I mean, besides you, um, but just talking to them on a consistent basis, not, not too many that I can really think of that I've talked to on a consistent basis throughout the years. Like, it might be one or two that I, will text or whatever every now and then, or, we decide to get up or something, but just doing something consistently over the years, since over the past 20 plus years, nah, I can't really say if it's anybody that's just um
and now
that stand out like that.
no, I feel that. I think it's a good topic. Um, and maybe this is a good opportunity to bring some different voices in for that because I think our situation is just super unique, right?
Yeah, all
For
right,
us,
yeah.
you're talking to two people that been knowing each other since ninth grade. We went to college together, roommates, and we still good friends now. So like a lot of our storyline will be very similar for this particular topic. Um, but you know, I would be interested to ask Marlon that question because I know he still has a lot of friends from his hometown. versus,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? And so maybe that's something we can pick up on when Marlon returns and just get a different perspective on that because I think it's a great question. It's just that I don't have a lot to go off of. Just being,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So um, the other thing that really kind of came across, um, and I'll just say like we've been we purchased a home, and so like a lot of my spare time has been in just doing some different things around the house because we bought a house that we were renting, and so now it's like, all right, we want to make this our crib. So um, we had to get some electrical work done, and bruh, I text you this, but like man, like the electrician came in and he did some change some outlets to some GCFI or GFCI outlets. He both we have three bathrooms. Two of our bathrooms did not have an outlet in, so he cut a wall, cut an outlet into the bathroom. So now each bathroom has outlets. He did some rewiring of a few things here and there. Did a couple of amp tests, and he installed some outlets. He fixed the outlets that were on the outside of our home. So we have like
Hmm.
two outlets. Oh, and he hung some floodlights too. And so he did some work. I mean, and he did great work. And I would actually recommend him too if anybody need these services in the Metro Atlanta area. I would gladly DM me. I won't give his information out here, but DM me, and I'll gladly be a referral for this guy. I say all this to say he did about 4 or 5 hours of work, and I paid him like
Hmm.
almost $1,300. Um, when I tell you that, I was like, yo, my immediate thought was like, bro, we got to stop lying to the kids and telling them that college is the way, because I'm like, bro, this guy just showed it to me. Like, and I'm not,
Hmm.
of course, I say that tongue in cheek because yes, I do believe you should go to college, but I also believe now as I'm more of an adult and I have more experiences and more things that I've learned in life, I truly believe that everyone should go to college. Number one, I think everyone should at least do like a semester in junior college or somewhere. I just think that's a great experience for people to be away from home and still in a learning environment so you don't have the same pressure of just like graduating and moving out the house, right?
Yeah.
But, bruh, tech tech school, vocational school, whatever you want to call it, getting a trade at the end of the day, man.
Right.
Because,
Yep.
I'm like, man, and it was to the point where it was like I was telling my wife, I was like, man, a lot of this stuff I already know how to do, right? Like, and I wasn't
Hmm.
trained on it, but my dad, growing up, with my dad, we did all this stuff, and so I was like, yeah, this next project, which I went through and changed all the outlets in the house, like all the light switches and all the outlets. I went and changed all of those, and so that was like $250 of material. But I can only imagine
Yeah.
how much it would have been. It's like 80 outlets and lights and you know what I'm saying, light switches in the
Yeah.
house. I can only imagine how much he would have charged for that. And Trina was like,
Yep.
man, just think if he charged $10 a switch. I was like, damn, we at $800 already. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was,
That labor gonna eat you up, man.
yeah, that labor eats you up. So I got my first lesson of home ownership of doing my own things. Immediately
Yeah.
after spending $1,300, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go here and do the rest of this stuff myself. And
Yeah.
yeah, it worked out so far. So the lights on.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That I definitely agree, man, with the learning a trade, man. Because school isn't for everybody, man. Everybody's not made to go sit and listen to somebody teach a class, and
Right.
you know, because I mean there are other needs for jobs, out there besides the stuff you can go to college for. I mean, you can make pretty good money and not even have to go to college or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No, I feel that, bro. I like I said, I'm definitely I definitely feel like going to college to be a doctor or lawyer, being in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, those that STEM field, of course the lawyers and all of that. I think that is key. And also, if you want to be an educator, definitely go to school for that. But like, bro, outside of that,
Hmm.
because I mean, don't get me wrong, bro. Like, I wouldn't trade my college experience for anything. But I do know that the things that I've learned, is specifically for me. Like, I'm a marketing major. I was a marketing major, and I know a lot about marketing. But I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you a lot of the stuff I just learned by like just reading on my
Yeah.
own time, not like what I learned in college. Like, yes, I learned some terms, and I've learned some tactics and all of that. But most of this stuff is like on job training, or now we got YouTube University where we can learn everything we need to know within a matter of 10
All
minutes.
right.
So, I think, especially now, man, unless you're going into them specialized fields, bro,
Hmm.
bro, I almost went to Atlanta Tech, boy, and took up. I was like,
Hey,
man,
bro, it ain't too late, man.
no, I'm cool, bro. I can't go back to school. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
telling other people do what you gonna do, bro. I know for me, it was done in 2002. I mean, excuse me, 2006 when I
I'll never
graduated.
say never, man. You never know, man. You probably gonna get that itch, and something. I want to go back.
You know what? You're right. Never say never. But I'll tell you this: I
Have
definitely not thinking about
no intention.
no
Yeah.
intention whatsoever, bro. I will self-educate whatever I need to do at this point in my life. Because I mean, and I'm jokingly saying that, but I'm also someone that believe in like purpose and all that, and I already know what I want to do, and I'm doing it. So I'm not like
Hmm.
that part of me. I'm not like in that searching mode. And of course, that's not saying that it can't happen, because that searching thing can happen at any given point in your life, where you might get to a point where you feel like, I don't love any of this stuff anymore. I want to find something else that really, fits more or align more of my purpose. So as of right now,
Yeah.
I don't have any desire whatsoever to go back to school, bro. So kudos to everybody
Yeah.
who's doing it, though. Salute to y'all.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, it's a nice experience if that's what you're up to.
Right, right.
Um, yeah. But I mean, it's so many, and I'm sure when we were coming up, the people before us felt the same way about us. Or it's way more opportunities to do this or
Mm,
that. Way more than when I was growing up. And I mean, now I look back on, I'm saying the same thing about the people that are there now, about the many opportunities and all this other stuff, um, for if that's something that you want to pursue.
right.
Yeah.
So look, man, we before we get out of here, we got to do our black what do we call this? I'm sorry.
Black thought.
Our black thought. Thank you so much. So question here, it says, and it, it surprisingly is a line, kind of a line of what we're talking about here, but we were talking about youth. But it says, when you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Man, I always wanted to be like a businessman. I always thought like I'm gonna be this guy walking down the street with my briefcase. And I told a mentor that, and he was like, to be honest, that's what I mean, you're in corporate America. I mean, you have a briefcase. But I mean, I guess not so much along the lines of what I'm actually doing, but
Right.
that was always something like it never been. Oh, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor or engineer or a map maker or
Cockpit partner.
or a fireman or
Oh man, that's one of those things right there. That's where friendship is. Because for y'all that don't know where that comes from, that's on Common. Is it the B album? Yeah, Common B
yeah.
album. At the end, his dad doing the skit, how he always do at the end when you're just talking, and he was like, be a cartographer, a
Yeah,
mountain.
yeah, map maker. But yeah, so it wasn't like, I had those things in mind to say, this is what I want to be.
Right.
I mean, now that I'm older, it's like I saw this. I don't know if it was a meme or I saw something like I don't have a dream job because I don't dream about working.
I know.
so, so it's like
Classic.
that's what I'm sticking to. I don't have a dream job because I don't dream about
You ain't lying, but you
working.
ain't lying. I'll say when I was younger, and my mom never lets me forget this because to this day, she still will remind me when you were 9 years old, you said you wanted to be a doctor. And I just knew I was gonna get me a doctor in the family. I was just like, shoot, I don't know what I was on. So, boy, they told me how long I had to go to school to be a doctor. I'm like, no, bro, I'm out of here. Like, I'm no good. I think I saw like a surgery on television one time, and I was like, nah, I don't want to do this because I think originally I wanted to be like a pediatrician.
Yeah,
And I do vividly remember watching like a surgery online. Like, I mean, not online, but like on TV. Back then, it was probably like a GP TV or a PBS type thing. Like, how they used to
yeah,
show all the educational stuff. And I saw the surgery. I was like, man, I don't want to do this. Like, this is like, I don't want to be involved with all like the blood and all that stuff. I was like, I'm good on that. And so,
yeah,
yeah, ever since then, I think I went on a different path. But that's what my mom said I wanted to be. I used to say it all the time. Like, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna be a doctor. So I can only go off of what she said because I don't remember saying that I wanted to be a doctor. But that's what she said. I used to say all the time.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of, I'll say this real quick, man. Speaking of like doctors and people in the medical profession,
Hmm.
it's like sometimes I think about how sharp those people in that profession have to be because you're dealing with somebody's life.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not like, oh, I'm working on your car and oh, I messed something up, but I can order another part, this, that,
right.
and the
And
other.
fix it.
You
Yeah,
can't. I mean, you can't go wrong with somebody, and just say,
right.
oh, I messed up. Let me try to, fix. It. And then sometimes I mean, myself personally, like it just you think about people in those fields, like you really got to be a sharp person
Yeah,
to
100%.
to to do that job and be able to handle the stress of all of it and to still be on top of your game. Now when you brought up the whole being about being a doctor, whatever, it
Right.
made me think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Those are sharp individuals, man. And I think that's something that you really have to want to do.
Hmm.
And I'm sure there are people that have been pushed to that field by family members, or elders or somebody, mentors. But I think eventually you just have to find some type of love for that because I think it'll be hard pressed to continue to be a doctor, especially if you don't really love it. Like the time it takes, um, and the amount of effort to go through because the pay is good, of course, but I mean to get to that, man, it's a lot of schooling, bro. Like, I mean, education, it takes some time to get to that level to be the doctor that's super successful like that, man. So, but salute to them because without them, we wouldn't have nobody to operate on us if something was to go wrong. So, like, I
Right.
salute to anybody that's in that field, bro, because y'all are the real winners out here. Because somebody got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody got
Definitely.
to do it. So look, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to the Black Man Think podcast. If you are interested in more content, if you want to be one of those people that help us suggest topics, you need to join our Patreon. The way to do that, you can click the links in our bio. You can go to blackmanthink.com. There's a link there. Join our Patreon. We have a couple of different tiers. Choose the one that makes sense to you. But either one of those will give you some type of content that's going to be beneficial for you moving forward. So we thank y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week.
The Black Men Think Podcast.